Welcome to the room,
Hello.
Keisha.
Hi. Can
Hello.
you hear
Well,
me?
I can hear
Okay.
you.
I like your flower wall. That looks beautiful.
I needed color this week. Last week, the blank canvas when I made the announcement of transition back to Charlotte. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay
So
then.
I'm not the one
Everybody.
for
Oh
no.
my goodness. My husband just came online. I can't see.
Okay. Welcome to the room, everybody. Happy Wisdom Wednesday. And tonight I'm not flying solo. Hello, the
Yummy.
angel, my sweet baby girl. Mwah. And we do have our guest tonight that was supposed to be here last week,
Yes.
Miss Nakisha King,
Hello,
who's,
everyone.
yeah, welcome in. So we're breaking the ice on her. She refuses to come on live. So for me, she decided,
Only for
and I'm
you.
so grateful. Yay, yay, yay. Hello, Harold Jackson, Thaddeus. How are you guys doing tonight? Welcome in. And we're going to have an episode of um, author to author tonight. Author to author. Hello, Juan. I see you out there also. James, welcome in. And last week, just a brief overview from last week. Like I said, I announced that I had transitioned back to the Queen City, and that's really eye-opening because this city has changed in the past 8 years, and I'm actually loving what I'm seeing and all the things that I know I'm going to be doing here. However, last week's topic was on boundaries and the importance of boundaries. So, yeah, one of the reasons, not the sole reason of me coming back to town, was boundaries. And some people just don't know how to say and accept smooches and goodbye. This just can't be anymore.
Yeah.
Months and you've gotten married. What is wrong with you? Like, boy, stop. So, it's one of those things we won't rehash that because moving forward is a wonderful thing. And like I said, it's all about pushing to greater. It's all about pushing to greater and
It is.
making the best out of every situation. Doesn't matter what it looks like. We have to keep moving forward. And
Right.
this fabulous author that we have, with us tonight has written a book on actually the relationship handbook. So, without further ado, if you can go crazy on the like and more so on the loves and go about sharing tonight, I'm always giving something away. So, tonight, I'm going to give another 30-minute session of conscious coaching. So, because what we're going to talk about tonight, it may, touch you a bit. Maybe you know someone who's going to benefit from this. And because we all have to check ourselves periodically from time to time. And with that being said, we're going to be talking about how you sabotage your relationships. Keisha, you can chime in anytime. So I'm going to turn this over to you so you can introduce yourself and give a little background before we jump in head first. It's on you, baby. Can you hear me? It looks like you're frozen. What's going on with the internet? Yeah, you're breaking up just I can see you and hear you now. You were doing one of those freeze frames before. But you're on
Okay.
now. So go ahead, tell us a little bit about
Okay. I went out a little bit. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. My name is Nakisha King. I am a native of Columbia, South Carolina. I am an international best-selling author, a marketing and branding strategist, and a certified gift opener, meaning I help people with their God-given gift from vision to fruition. And I have a show called The Relationship Handbook Live. I'm also a radio host, and I'm very excited to be here today. with all
Well,
these people
thank you so.
watching.
Yes, it's so exciting because you can't ever share enough information. It's nice to be able to invite other guests on, from time to time. And like I said, it's author to author tonight. And there's going to be times when I have other coaches on from a different world. And then basically, let's just talk about it. Tell me about what's going on, with you and relationships. And like I said, boundaries was last week, but it's a few other things that we can discuss and get in all we can tonight.
Yes,
Keisha, just chime in. And we're going to talk about first insecurities and how insecurities can sabotage any
yes.
relationship. It doesn't matter if you're single, if you're married,
Hmm.
divorced, back in the field again.
It definitely can.
Insecurity,
Yeah. There's a delay,
and
so I
where
don't
it
know if I'm
stems.
talking over you. There's a delay.
Okay, I'll just pause after I
Okay.
finish and just give you time to catch up.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good to me.
But with insecurities and where insecurities come from, and it comes from being, having your armor bruised
Yes.
and battered in relationships past,
Mhm.
and not cleansing and purifying yourself and preparing yourself before you jump into a new relationship.
Say that again.
Mm-hmm. And um, insecurity is scary.
It can
It's
be scary for
scary.
both people, both parties involved. The person who's insecure and the person that's at the brunt of their insecurities and how they may lash out. So I totally agree with you.
Right. So it's a relationship killer.
It is.
And who wants to put forth all the efforts of meeting someone? You
Mhm.
actually sync up, you like each other a lot,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden, insecurity shows up. It rears its ugly head. It pops up, checking cell phones, stupid stuff like that. What or trying to break it. Doesn't make any sense. And it goes to show that it's important to take the time to heal yourself
Yes.
before you another relationship. Take the time. Oh my gosh. Because it's time of rediscovery of you, accepting the lessons learned in the previous relationship to better yourself moving forward into something new, but making sure that you're prepared and ready for it.
You do.
What is your I can keep going, so I'm going to let you chime in, Keisha. Like, you wrote the handbook. I'm just getting around things in book number 3. I've got to release number 2 first.
Book number.
And
Okay. Okay. So when it comes to insecurities, as someone who has had a lot of insecurities, and I've been in a relationship where I've shown the ugly side of it, I can tell you that it is definitely a relationship killer. It is the weed in the garden of relationships, and it can definitely stem from within. And a lot of times, if you haven't gotten over a past relationship or a past hurt and pain, that relationship PTSD can creep up and cause you to start seeing things that you think are flags from the other person, but perhaps it's just memories, it's flashbacks, it's things that you've endured, and you just think that other person that you're in a relationship with is causing them. And if you're not completely healed, it's hard. It's extremely
right,
hard.
right. And knowing how to handle those pop ups, like you said, PTSD of relationships past. If you haven't
Yeah.
dealt with that thing, oh my gosh, you're going to put yourself right back on the streets again because whomever you're with may not be patient with you to, coerce you through those things. And we're all guilty at one point or another where we've been so into someone that that other person shows up. And when she
Mm,
or he shows up, embarrassing to know that you had that
yes.
in you. So we try to let those things go bye bye. Bye bye. Welcome everyone that's shown up since starting tonight. Melanie Patton. Hello, Doc. And we're basically talking about how you sabotage relationships and the consciousness when you realize and recognizing those triggers. You need to recognize those triggers that's going to push you over the edge and how to rear yourself back in to avoid jumping, falling off the cliff.
For
So
me, it's
you said
inconsistency.
that
Um,
you experienced with that. You were talking about something specific,
yeah,
Keisha. How
very specific. Uh-uh.
very specific.
Yeah. And it's from situations in my past when I was young and very broken, and in relationships where I was so insecure, and I was checking phones and emails. You call me CSI, baby. I was all over, checking behind my mate. And that can stress a person out. And I wasn't, confident in myself, and I knew that I wasn't doing everything I was supposed to. So it made me jealous. It made me insecure. And I called her Shaquita, and she was very ugly. And she just caused a lot of damage. And I look back now like, wow, I don't see how somebody stay in a relationship like that with me. Wow.
It's
So yeah,
okay. Hi, Pamela. Hello, my dear. Mwah. Welcome to the room. But yes, it is. And like you
yeah.
said, Shaquita, mine was Gretchen. I had to let Gretchen
Not Gretchen.
up to her name. She didn't do it. You know,
Wow.
I wrote about her
Really?
and how I fabulous and a lady all the time. Gretchen was something to reckon with, but she was always nice, nasty, never
Okay.
raised her voice.
Yeah, that
I
was
don't like,
that was Shaquita.
yeah, I don't like all that disruption or arguing and fighting,
Mhm.
those types of. But once you realize that there is an existence, that's a moment that's time for consciousness. Like,
Yeah.
okay, where did this come from? How are we going to fix it? We
Mm.
have to fix this because there's nothing cute about it. Nothing
It
cute
isn't.
about it all. And one of the ways to go about fixing the insecurity is understanding why you have the trust issues in the first place. What happened?
A lot.
What stirred a lot?
A lot.
A lot. I'm going to for time because when I say the armor is
Mm.
abused, we take a lot.
Yeah.
Women take a whole lot more than men.
Mm.
Um, yeah. When that happens, then you tend to lash out.
Yeah, you take it in the
You
next
lash.
relationship, and you take the one that you're silent in, the one that you don't say anything, and that person gets to kind of get away with murder. And then the next relationship is when the insecurities start to show, because you just assume that that new person is just like the person that damaged you or hurt you or caused you pain. And instead of taking a break, you jump into something else. And I was that person who jumped in several relationships. I was like a pop tart. I was out in one out the next one, and I wasn't completely healed. And so Shaquita, like you said, I wasn't arguing or yelling. I was on that, bet that I'm gonna take your life out, make you want to hurt yourself because I'm hurt. So I'm gonna be equally evil to you. And it wasn't pretty at all.
No, it's not. But it really takes work
Yeah,
and being, mindful and living within that conscious lifestyle
yeah,
to say, hey, when this relationship is over, I do need to take a breather. I do need to take an
hmm
assessment, review what's been happening in my life. How am I going to change these things? And you do that by taking a break, by
yes,
not jumping into so quickly. And there are some people who do that. It's just, how can I put it nicely? They just can't live
can't be
without
alone.
somebody else.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's a problem within itself. If you can't
yes.
be alone or by yourself and have a good time with you, enjoy your own company, oh my gosh, how dare you put your burdens on somebody else? You can't do that.
And they
You
blame
really can't.
everybody else. They blame everyone else because they don't think it's anything wrong with them.
Our connection is back. Yes. And that's the important part. Take the time off. Go to ice. I can hear you now, but you did break up just a moment ago. So I'm pretty sure we missed some vital information that you shared. But you
See,
know
I was
what?
dropping juice.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're going to push straight through this thing. It's necessary. We have to talk about it. We have to do that because it's a lot of people out here that are broken and bruised. Like I said, the armor's been, banged up, cut, shade, all these things that takes place in relationships that needs to be rectified during. Stop being quiet about things because the more you're quiet, the more things tend to kind of build. And once it starts to build, then, like you said, you take it out on the next person who's not deserving of that. It's not fair to them to have to take, the lashing from someone else from a previous relationship. And you're not even taking, proper care of yourself to take some time off and stop attracting these types of individuals because you can go into a new relationship and choose the same person, the same guy, the same girl because you haven't taken the time to correct yourself.
I totally agree. That Venus flytrap called a personality. What you attract, it says a lot about you. And if you keep attracting the same people, then you have to check yourself because, as I said before, everybody else can't be crazy, and the common denominator is you. And if you going into the relationships and it's always bad, then it's time for you to remove yourself and just be by yourself for a minute and heal, completely heal.
It's necessary. Isolation Island is a beautiful thing. It's a gorgeous place.
It
And
is.
when you a breather and go and do all the things you enjoy. Hi, Jerome.
Yeah.
How are you, brother? You can take the time to correct what's happening
Hmm.
in your life.
I agree.
And I'll say take it a step further. Ask your friends. If your friends can't tell you the truth about you, nobody can.
They,
Real hello, yeah.
yeah.
And I do it. I give them permission though. I just don't put it out there for all my friends to come toward me like that. No, you have to be within my circle. And if you're in my circle, I'll say, hey, Keisha, I want to use, you know, D'Angel. Say, for instance, D'Angel and I are talking, and that's my baby girl. That's my niece. So she's close to me. I just say, okay, D'Angel, Auntie gives you permission. I'm going to give you a scenario, and I give you permission to be brutally honest with me. I need you to tell me the truth right here, right now.
Hmm.
I do that with people that are close to me because otherwise, how else are you going to change? How else are you going to be better, to make better choices in the relationships? Because we're not out here dating for no reason.
Date with a purpose.
It's dating with a purpose.
Yeah.
There are some of us who want to get married. There are some of us who have been married and divorced and interested in marrying again, but who wants to make that same mistake twice? So you might want to do some assessments
Mm.
to make sure you don't do that a second time around. And that was the case with me. This
Yeah.
person's been married 3 times. I don't believe in being number four. I mean, I had questions about that.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was a great guy, but in the end, I'm glad I listened to my consciousness and the Lord that I serve because there were signs.
Those
Great person,
flags. Hmm.
wonderful person, but you have stalker mentality.
Yeah.
You have that behavior that has now been revealed to me. That's not somebody you want. I mean,
Mm-mm.
I saw that with the ex-husband. So that means I had to go to Isolation Island and say, girl,
That's
mm-mm.
not
We're
good.
not.
Gotta fix that. Fix it quick.
And it's someone that's been around for 7 years. Like, how do you have somebody in your life that long and now these behaviors start to rear?
Wow.
You don't know anybody as much as you think you do. They change, you change, there is involvement.
Yeah, we do.
But into the changes and something just kind of stir up in your spirit and you just don't feel that is quite right, you need to look into it, ask
Mm.
questions, get ready.
There's always signs. Sometimes we choose to ignore them, but there's always signs that people show, even if they send in their representative and they pretend to be something that they're not. The inconsistencies start to show up, and you start to see the red flags. And then sometimes we close our eyes because we're like, no, it can't be that. Yes, it's that. Pay attention. You were shown who they are.
Absolutely. We got
Yeah.
two amens out there from
He said
Jerome
9 years.
and says it's been 9 years for her. Oh my gosh, baby, we have to talk.
Yeah,
We have to talk. Hi, Kay. How are you tonight, dear? Welcome to the room. And Jerome says you can do bad all by yourself,
I
and you
agree.
can.
Yeah.
Isolation Island. Put a hashtag Isolation Island out there, please. Do that for me, Sparrow. It's
Isolation
such
Island.
Isolation Island. I mean, I'm on it now. I've been on it for quite a minute,
And
you
sometimes
know.
it's good. It's good. I was one of those people who didn't want to be alone because I thought that I needed somebody in order for me to be happy. But when I realized that happiness comes from within, it's like,
You
fix you first.
yes, you're your happiness.
Yes,
You're it.
you're it.
Love me. I love me very much.
Yeah.
And I don't like animosity and turmoil in my life. And if someone is in my life who's bringing that, it's time
Get
to
out.
say, this is expired. I have enjoyed you. I thank you for your investment in my life. You have served purpose. And I truly wish you well.
Hmm.
I wish you well. However, go now. I don't want you to hang.
Don't hang around.
This is it. It's that fine line in the sand.
Mm-mm.
Because it's scary when the person you once loved is now lurking in places.
Yeah,
That's not a good feeling to have. It's not good at all.
it's not.
So you have to question where your trust issues come from and those insecurities that pop up periodically, because it's not a great feeling. It's something that you truly want to have, meet somebody who can help you through those things. It's someone you can meet who actually cares enough for you to tell you when you are wrong. I respect anybody who can
Yes.
tell me, Valerie, you were wrong for that. And I'm like, ooh, but tell me anyway, because I need to hear that. I'm going to say. And another thing, go ahead, finish what you were going to say. We missed it all. Repeat it. I don't, I don't want a yes man at all. I don't, yes, I'm going to have to send a jet over to pick you up from Virginia. However, it's some other things that takes place and causes, sabotages to relationships that is very important. And we're on one of those devices right now. And I'm going to just, the elephant in the room is social media and what social media can do to relationships. It's a scary thing because it takes up so much of our time, and we find ourselves always on a device. We're looking down. I've gone out to dinner and I've seen people on their phone. That is the nuttiest thing I've ever seen. You're sitting together. Put the phones away, please. Put the phones away and engage properly. That is some valuable time that you can have when you're face to face. And I think, we can take things a little too far with social media. It serves a great purpose. And we've lost Keisha somewhere. I'm going to have to invite her back in again. Her connection's been pretty bad. So we're going to add her back in. However, like I said, social media is a culprit. It's a culprit. And just being mindful
Yeah.
of that, we have, hey, Keisha, welcome back. Welcome.
I'm back. I think this is better.
It will be
Okay.
time. Hi, Veronica. Hi, Tim. Welcome to the room. And with social media, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we've got Snapchat, we've got
Yeah.
all of these social mediums, and we won't even begin to talk about all of the, what do you call them, Tinders, all of these relationships.
Yeah.
That's a whole different conversation.
But I think but those, I think a lot of those relationship sites have kind of set us up for failure in a little way because there are no boundaries anymore, and people don't have to have your phone number to call you. You don't have to give someone your phone number or give them your information. They can just contact you or send you something inappropriate in your messenger, and it's just like, what has happened? I use Facebook for business and social media for business, but to see it being used for that, it just, there's no boundaries anymore.
It is,
It's gotten very ugly.
and very disrespectful.
Yes,
And
extremely.
I look at Messenger as the back door,
Yeah.
through the back door. And there have been gentlemen, or shall I say guys, that are married, that are obviously in relationships, and approach. And I kindly close the door. Like, are you serious? So,
Yeah. Delete and block.
right. But
Mhm.
don't have the mentality to do that. There have been, the whole side chick stuff, all of those relationships. You got so many things, whether if it's Facebook, whether if it's eHarmony, whether if it's, it doesn't matter. You have
Yeah.
these things, and they're um, married individuals on these sites. And when you say they're set up for failure because the screening processes aren't great, they aren't great at all. And once upon a time, there was great opportunities presented there. Not
Hmm.
not anymore.
Not anymore. But social media, especially with Facebook and Instagram, it makes a person who's trying to be intimate or trying to get next to you feel like they know you because they liked your pictures or they're commenting or they said something to you. So they get all bold and decide, hey, this is third date status. Let me go ahead and slide you a picture and be inappropriate with you. And I'm just like, you don't even know me. I'm married, back up, delete, block. But they so bold. Like, how dare you? But I think, social media has made people feel like they could just do that.
Right, but you have to project, boundaries.
Yes, lots of boundaries.
Yes. And especially for the singles out here, or the people that are, back in dating world. Hello, Eric Cato, my cut. I had to pause and blow a kiss. I man, please call me.
I agree with Jerome. I definitely agree with him. You have to be careful what you put on Facebook.
Facebook and everywhere. Facebook and everywhere.
Yeah.
It's to the point now to where I entertained, social mediums like dating sites because it's an option. And it's nice to have
Yeah.
options out there, However, hello, Tammy Johnson. However, when you are put in a position to where you have to divulge all this information on the front end to weed out, it was too exhausting. And the last time I went on, I'm doing research. I'm doing research for the third book, because it's on
Oh, wow.
lessons learned, questions, all these things. You've already done your handbook, and you might want to show a copy while you're sitting there. But at the same time, what do? You need to have a handbook to divulge within the dating sites. especially if
Mm-hmm.
you're divorced and you're out there a second time around. You're not those 20 somethings. There are some that are serious, and there are some who doesn't mind being the side chick. And then there are some who really want something sincere. And if you want something sincere, it's a job within itself to interview prospects. And it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm utilizing my own experiences and how to go about doing that on top of something else that I'll probably need to talk with you offline about. But
Okay.
I'm putting together a mixer. I'm putting together,
Mm.
and these are people, and you are really going to have to be specific. And, you know, back in the day, I said I was going to start a service called Screen Them Before You Meet Them. This is my, and
Yeah.
putting that idea and bringing it to fruition, and because it's so much, and putting this mixer together and making it fun to date again, making it fun to be
Yeah.
meet qualified candidates that sincerely.
Have your relationship resume. Let me see your resume and your referrals, your references.
You say that in jest. That's a part of the requirement.
Yeah.
So serious.
Yeah. I'm serious too. Yeah. You gotta have it these days. You never know.
It's about making social media work for you and connect
Mhm.
with the right people in order to connect with quality candidates. Like, what are you truly presenting? What sincerely are you looking for? So we can connect you with that type of individual, and not, you know, putting yourself out there to be hurt, you know, to feel like you
Yeah.
need to check cell phones. That's where insecurities come from. That's where trust is coming from, and the lack thereof, and having these trust issues because the person that you're probably engaging with hasn't been honest with you, and you're not asking the proper questions.
Mm-mm. Gotta be very specific. And I don't know what it is. People are afraid to communicate now. Like communication, it's not effectively communicating.
Right.
They're talking to everyone else but the person they're in a relationship with and asking the specific questions. Ask. I always kid my husband like, "You didn't learn anything from orientation," but I put it out there. Look, this is what I like and this is what I don't like. I don't have time. You have to be honest.
Oh yeah, I'm vomiting it all over you.
Yeah, yeah,
What's happening? Hi Tammy, and Veronica says, you know, it's like a job interview, to be specific, like a screening process. That's
yeah.
the route I'm going for. And Jerome's saying, you know, he needs to start doing that. You do need to start doing that, Jerome. You need help, call your sister.
Don't be afraid to ask those questions because you know if you don't ask you won't know. And I think like you see people are dating, you're dating with a purpose. I'm married, but I do remember those days of dating and not being honest and lying about what it is I really wanted and what it is I really needed, and then the person couldn't give it to me because I lied. I was afraid to say, hey, I need affection. Hey, I need you to call me when you say you're gonna call. I need you to be consistent. And because I wanted to be the cool chick and be like, oh, I'm okay if you have 10 friends. I'm okay if you don't call. No, 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 no. We're going to be honest.
Ain't
We're going to be honest.
no that. No, time with you. I need to, that's what you're doing. Also, I'm
Mhm.
put all of your eggs in one basket in the
Yeah.
beginning. This is a part of the weed out process. I'm never going
Yeah.
to say, not just one. Now, when you start having conversations about spending more time and all of those types of things, then that's okay. Then you're going to be eliminating all of the others. But my mom has always said to me, keep a spare tire. Keep a spare tire. Because if something should go wrong with the person that you put all this energy into, that's how you get your heart broken. If he doesn't call, okay, that's fine. I'm not even going to mention it when you do call. I'm okay with that because this is how you
Okay.
teach. It's not going to be any arguing. It's not going to be all of that. I don't believe in it. If you, because you're teaching me who you are. And we,
In the beginning.
you know, you can ask a list of questions. I don't recommend that you write out a list of questions. have your questions. However, allow that person to answer those questions by spending time with them. Taking notice of what they say they're going to do, but don't do. Don't
Inconsistencies.
inconsistencies.
Mm-hmm.
Just be mindful, pay attention. This is when your head first. Use your senses, your eyes and your ears, and smile through it all. Smile. Okay, smile, jot it down. Today is October 17, 2018, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever time it is. You jot it down. You know, we were supposed to talk. You were supposed to call, but you call at 9:30. You know what I'm going to do at 9:30?
Noted.
You know, it's noted. However, I'm not answering that call at 9:30. No, not doing that.
Okay.
Because the minute you do that, you're saying to that person, it's okay for you to break, you know, your promise. It's okay for you to not commit to and honor what you say you're going to do. I'll be looking at the phone. And okay.
Watching it ring.
Off. Because come through anyway. It goes to silence. But the thing is, I personally pay attention to those little things because those little things become big things.
They do. I agree with that.
They do.
I do.
They become that.
Yeah.
So I'll say just utilize social media for the good in it because it's a lot of benefit there. You can weed people out. You can. And there are a lot of free sites out here as well. Stay away from the free ones. That's the quality that you're getting. If a man wants to be on a free site, what is he really going to bring you? However, if you're paying for it, you're investing in yourself. That shows that you're serious. That shows that this is something that you truly want. And they're actually a deeper dive in the questions that are asked on the sites that you literally pay for. Personally, my interest is shot with social media, but there is, you know, maybe a thing or two that I would look into because of the, like I said, I've got this mixer that's going to be coming soon. My plan was to do it in Georgia. However, now I'm back. It's going to launch in Charlotte. However, I'll still be taking it back to Georgia in different areas, South Carolina, probably Columbia somewhere, because I'm going to market this. It's going to be nuts. I promise you when I tell you, this mixer is taking all of the experience and all of what I've learned within the dating scene from when I was single. I mean, I met my ex-husband online due to a dare. You know,
Wow.
it was a dare. And was seeing somebody when I met him. Told him clearly, because this is when, you know, Love at AOL first came out, and you know,
AOL. Wow.
beginning, which is now it's and I met him not even looking. And it really worked out. There were a plethora of questions, but the thing is, initially I was dating somebody and talked to him about it. He said, "Oh yeah, sure." Because my friends and I just wanted to know what type of guy would actually choose to date or meet someone online versus traditionally. That was really foreign back then, like in thousands, you know. And so I chose 4 different states. I think it was Virginia, DC, Atlanta, and Raleigh. I didn't even choose anybody. I didn't say Charlotte, but everyone
Okay.
out of town. And I basically said, you know what? I'm doing a survey and I'm inquiring to see why you would choose to meet someone online versus meeting them traditionally. And I am not available. I'm not looking to connect with you or get to know you or anything. I just would appreciate your response. And they all answered and was very candid about it. And they said that they would open their opportunities because they know that it's possible that their mate could be in a different state, could be somewhere different than where they were. And it makes sense. Yes, I agree with them 100%. So looking at it from The ex was at the time in Greece and
Find him online.
online, but he said he was in Atlanta. That should have been a red flag.
Flag on the play. Yes.
How are you in a different country but saying you're, in the States?
Atlanta.
But the thing is, he was planning to move there, wanted to meet people in the area before he did. So I could believe that. He wasn't that type. Got to know him very well, but he was one of those too good to be trues. The boy was crazy in the end. But at the same time, I attract him, me being who I was at that time. I can't say he's crazy. No, got to put the mirror back on me for some of that.
That's that fly trap. The fly trap that you're attracting with your personality.
Yes.
Yeah.
The wrong stuff.
They keep a journal.
Yes, you better take notes.
Keep a journal.
But and social media, it really rears the ugly head when it comes to insecurities and the trust issues that we were presenting and talking about before. It happens.
Yeah.
So if you can put all those behaviors to rest, then you can really trust. Give the person opportunity to not be trusted. Don't put them out there like that in the beginning because of something from your past. That's never going to be fair. So
that PTSD, that relationship PTSD, you having flashbacks, and then you're looking at the other person as if it was them, but it's really not. It's the previous relationship, and I've been guilty of doing that, and it's hard to kind of see what the difference is between what you're seeing and what you think you're seeing. Those red flags can oftentimes fool you.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
But that brings another point that I have on my list. Tell them when they've said or done something to trigger a memory. I've done that. I said, hey, when you say that, that puts me in the mind of this. And I don't really want to, think about that, or, that's something I'm working on. But every time you say that, you put me in the mind of it. They can't stop something you never told them about.
Communication, like I said before, a lot of people are so afraid to communicate with their mate. They want to tell everybody else they're calling their best friend, they're calling their cousin, their aunt, but they're not talking to the person they're in a relationship with, and they don't know if, like you said, they don't know if you don't tell them, and you expect them to read your mind.
Yeah,
be open.
Exactly.
Be open in orientation. Tell it all. Put it out there.
Yes, and I think a couple of weeks ago, Jerome, he's not in the room right now, however, he made mention to keep other people or keep families out of your business. That's vital. The best person you can talk to is the person you're in the relationship with.
Yes.
Take it to the person. Why are you calling everybody but the one you need to talk to? They're going to give you the wrong information.
Wrong advice. Oh, he's probably, or she's probably, so many armchair analysis. Everybody got an opinion, and no one truly knows because they haven't asked the person they're in a relationship with.
And another thing, what it does, it causes family and friends to now build animosity toward that person.
True.
Because once you put it out there, you can't retract it.
You can't.
Her sideways, they're whispering in the corner, and they have absolutely no idea that you've shared something that shouldn't have been shared. It probably shouldn't have been shared. And it's just a simple conversation and having, communication about something that you decided to be zip-lipped on, that you got a little huffy puffy about and decided to bring a third party into the relationship. Stop that. If it's not God, don't do it. You can pray about it, but let that be it and wait for some answers. But communication is going to be vital in all relationships. With your best friend, with your partner, with your husband or wives, whatever the case is, communication is a top tier. Very important. wear it out. And one of the things I say to, if there's couples that I'm talking to, I suggest that they have a conversation jar. Sometimes you got to let some
Ooh.
rest. You got to let it rest. You can't talk about it right now. Not right now. Too hot. Now
Okay.
this is not it. Too soon. So you
So what are you doing? You put a note in the jar? How do you use the jar?
with
Okay.
the jar, you basically have two strips of colors in this jar. And I use a mason jar because it's clear. You can just take the top off, drop the information in there. And what you'll say is if you have strips of blue paper and strips of pink paper or whatever colors differentiate you. If
Okay.
whomever I'm seeing, my mate, has done something to stir me up, and I know it's not the time to bring it up, I'm going to jot it on that piece of paper. Guess what he's going to see? Oh, Lord. What about? But he can't. So if it's Tuesday night at 6 o'clock at dinner, we're going to discuss the conversation jar. Thing. Maybe I've done something to irritate him. For him to go and write it out and put it in that jar. And I'm going to be like,
put it in the conversation jar.
yes, that jar is powerful because what it does, you know, you're going to be mindful of everything you do from the moment you see that strip of paper in there. It's something that says, you know what have I done? You're going to replay the week. You're going to replay everything that's happened because you're going to try to figure it out. You cannot go over and take anything out and read it in advance. You cannot. So whatever night of the week you choose to sit and go through that conversation jar, that's the date and the time that you do it. You do it. You sit. And the other person that you wrote about, he gets to read it out loud to you. So when that happens, then he's going to be like, oh my gosh, okay. Or I'm going to say, oh my gosh, really? And then it's time to talk about it. It's not so fresh because it didn't happen right now. Because when it happens, we're all up in our feelings. We're in them.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
You need to take a break. You need to take a break and let that calm down and then be an adult about it. That way you can strategize ways of rectifying it. You can douse any concerns or whatever the case may be. But that conversation jar, I've had that baby floating around for at least 8-10 years. 8 to 10.
Oh wow. And it keeps you open and honest and not waiting until the other person does something. They say, well, you did that last week and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Now I don't like that. You know, speak on it when the infraction occurs or when you have a problem with it. And I think a lot of people hold on to things. So it's good to communicate and say this was the issue and not argue or yell about it. You know, when the person, you know, you're yelling or you're fussing, so the defense wall is up. So instead of just saying, hey, I have an issue with this, you put it on the table and you can talk about it when everybody all calm and no one has their defenses up.
Exactly. And then, you know, you're not saying words, you're not doing things to take stabs, you know, because those things you can't retract. You cannot.
You cannot. You cannot.
But do it within the week. Like you said, you don't want it to be too prolonged. Don't do that.
No.
My number is
no.
If you better do it within a 7-day period.
I done forgot about it.
And that's one of those things. But once you sit and you communicate about that, and there's a clarity, and you know, your understanding, you have learned so much about that particular situation. And once you do that, you know, it helps build a strong relationship also. But once you've talked about it, it's over. You cannot bring that thing up, Keisha.
I can't bring it up no more?
You can't do it. You can't do it. Because that's something that's irritating. Because if it's brought up again, that means it wasn't rectified.
Okay.
Because nobody's leaving that table until it's fixed.
Until it's rectified, yeah.
Yeah. And I have, you know, my friend, you know, that I have, you know, it was like, well, you know what, ain't nobody going to sleep until it's fixed. It's going to be a whole room from what he says. Like, oh, it's a house. And so it's like, yeah, boom. And we're going to go in there and until it's fixed. It ain't nobody going to bed. And I said, you know what? That's a good one. I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah. But Veronica is saying, learn their language. And it's a great benefactor, like the 5 love languages. If you
Yes.
5 love languages, you're doing yourself a disservice. Read the 5 love languages. It is profound. And also read
It is.
Song of Solomon in the Bible.
Song of Solomon. Okay.
Yes, Song of Solomon. If you haven't read the songs, it's a lot to take away from that book.
It's like I love the 5 love languages. I believe that we all have different ones. You have to know the person you're with, their language of love. Everybody, mine is quality time and words of affirmation. Yes. And how I give it and how I receive it is 2 different things.
Yes.
So it's definitely good to know your mate's love language.
Absolutely. And mine is, is communication. You got to talk about it. I have to talk. I'm one of those. I have to talk about that and serving.
Okay.
You don't have to buy me.
Ooh, acts of service. Yeah. I agree. Acts of service is a good one.
Yes, I like that one. It really resonates with who I am. So don't feel like you can go out here and buy me flowers and I'm over it. No, I don't want that.
No.
That's not going to work for me.
No.
It goes to show you don't know me very well.
Yeah.
So, it's important. Junior Carlos says, can't bring it up. You put fuel on the fire all over again. Yeah. So once you communicate about it, it's over. You better not bring that up to me in 6 months. That's grounds for termination.
Don't talk about it. But wait, I didn't say everything I wanted to say. It was your fault. You should have talked about it when we had the discussion.
We had a discussion. You can up again. Let the past be past. And that is something that definitely kills relationships. You think something's been rectified, and then you got something present, brand new that you're trying to resolve, but you went back to last year. What is
Yeah. I mean, you're still holding on to it. You haven't let it go. And we can't move forward if you're still holding on to something that happened 2 weeks ago.
There is no growth there, no evolvement. I think you like that.
You got to talk about
it. Messy things. There are messy people. They enjoy conflict and bringing things up to push that little red button. Like I said, Gretchen's been put to sleep. She went away in 2016. There was a balloon release back then before I could finish writing. Woo! Fabulous and a lady all the time. So it was a lot that I let go, and she was a part of it. Because Gretchen was my kind.
That was Shaniqua. Shaniqua did that too, girl. Shaniqua be like, oh, really? Bet that. And she hold on to stuff and be walking around mad. Nobody else don't know what I'm mad for. Just upset. Absolutely. And when you're in a relationship like that, it is so unhealthy and dysfunctional all at the same time. And it's people that are walking around like this. And I look back and I'm like, wow, I made myself age 10 years just for being mad for something. And the other person didn't even know.
It's not worth it. That's word sabotage in tonight's. Yeah, because people can set up or like to stir up things within the relationship because they know what your triggers are. The more you spend time with someone, they get to know you that well. And once they know you like that, and if they want to really do that, then they have the means of.
They love the words.
Yeah, so that's where your conscious lifestyle is going to have to be reflected and really displayed of, having self-control and not falling into
it. Not falling into the trap.
Don't fall into it. And another thing, is jealousy.
Ooh. Yeah.
Jealousy is
that jealousy and insecurity go hand in hand.
They're sisters. sisters, brothers,
Yeah.
very close family.
Mm-hmm.
Very close.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah. And it's just it's amazing how people call you on the messenger. Just call somebody on messenger. I just got you can't do that.
Just call you.
Back door.
Boundaries.
Boundary.
Boundaries.
And okay. If I message you, you just don't randomly at almost 8 o'clock at night just decide to hit
call.
the button. What happened to the timeline? Right on my wall. Can you call me, Keisha? Do you not have the phone number?
If that mean most people that call you on Messenger because they don't have your phone number, so that means I don't want you calling me. Message me like everybody else on Facebook. Don't call me on Facebook.
Hello, Bruce Little has joined the room. Thanks everybody that we haven't ignored you. We're just kind of in a deep conversation at the time when you showed up. However,
yes,
for taking the time to come into the room, and especially, you know, any concerns, you know, things that you want to bring up, don't hesitate when it comes to things that sabotage your relationships, that sometimes we do unaware, and then there are times that we do them and we are clearly aware and don't care. It's time to check yourself and have a lot more knowledge of what you're doing. Be mindful of what that looks like and how your character is on display and what now the canvas that you're painting for yourself to other people. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. If you're somebody that is disrupting your peace and is shaking everything up on the inside, it's time for an assessment and have that come to Jesus. Say, you know what? It's been lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. However, this isn't working. This isn't working.
And don't be afraid to be on the island, like I said, by yourself. To be on that island.
Isolation Island. I tell everybody about it. Hashtag Isolation Island. Put it in the room.
Isolation Island.
I asked the last D Angel, could you please put hashtag Isolation Island out there?
Isolation Island.
Because
and take an assessment of yourself.
An assessment of yourself, not somebody else. You.
Mm-mm.
It's all about you.
Of you.
I write about mirror moments in my book. And mirror moments is when you can stand in front of that mirror and be 100% honest with yourself. Ask yourself the hard questions. And I want you to ask that question to yourself as if you're asking your best friend. Thank you, baby girl.
You put it in hashtag Isolation Island.
An island. That is the best place you can ever be. And even if you're in a relationship, take a week of Isolation Island. Hey, boo, I think I need a week of Isolation Island. That means no contact for a week. I need a break, you know, because I can miss you now. I can't wait to see you next week. We're going to plan some fun things, awesome things. Take a break from the relationship. You're not married. Keisha, you can't. So, hello, Erica Bracy, my little baby sister. But you know what? It's important. It's important. And I can only speak from the single side and from, you know, post marriage. So, and from seeing it from both sides of the fence, knowledge that only I can have for myself. For those people,
it's a growing process. it's an entire process. It definitely causes you to grow up and start to look within and see, you know, who you are, what it is you want, what it is you need, and what you bring to the table.
Right. And you said keywords, who you are. Most don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Oh, Angel, let me see. The angel says, what happens when you've been on isolation island for too long and you sabotage future relationships because you're so used to isolating yourself? Oh,
Ooh,
God,
that's a good question.
that is awesome. Okay, you can
That's a great question.
island too long. You can't. You're only going to leave when you're ready to leave. When you're ready to
Mm-hmm.
leave, then and only then you are now conscious of what your needs are. You know
Yeah.
who he looks like, what he needs to smell like. You can tell this, he's going to be able to recognize you as well. Because if you
Yeah.
have any concerns about that, you need to call your auntie. Because that's where the isolation takes place. That's when your assessment takes place. That's when you ask yourself those mirror moment questions. Like I just said, ask those mirror moment questions, those very hard hitters, and then expect an answer like you would from your best friend. If you were asking your best friend, because you are your best friend, once you ask
Mm-hmm.
those questions and you answer that only your best friend can be satisfied with, because your best friend looks out for you, your mother
Yeah.
looks out for you, your aunties look out for you. Answer those questions and just imagine everybody that's in your circle that love the heck out of you and want only the absolute best for you. We're going to look at that guy.
Yeah.
We're going to ask him questions you won't ask. So if you can answer those questions for yourself, you will know exactly when it's time to step off of Isolation Island. I myself
Yeah.
ready to step off of Isolation Island. However, I haven't met the person that I need to be stepping off for. So then I'm going to bask. I'm going to have pina coladas. I'm going to be playing some games. I'm going to doll myself up. I'm going to be
And step off.
fast. But
Mm-hmm.
I will date. So when you're off, now you know exactly what your expectations are, what you are not willing to compromise and settle for. Mm-mm. We have deal breakers, and you need to know what those deal breakers are. And the minute you recognize it, you need to turn left. Thank you for your time, and I wish you well. Get used to saying that with a smile. Sometimes I'll go as far as writing thank you notes. I will put it in the mail to you. That's how serious I am. Because I truly want the best for you, because you're not it for me. I recognize that right away.
Mm.
It's going to save you time. It's going to prevent your heart from being broken. All of these things are taking place because you love and respect yourself that much. It goes back to,
And you have to.
okay, a virtuous woman. You know how fabulous you are. It's up to him to find out how great you are. You already know. So don't take no wooden nickels. That's what my mom would say. Don't you take any of those wooden nickels. Don't do that. And that's the whole point of Isolation Island. Welcome everybody who's come into the room.
Hey everyone.
Yes. So that's going to be key. I can't toot the horn loud enough. I'm going to get some bell or some whistle or something, because when the bombs are dropping, I need to make a noise or something. I'm going to have.
Ding, 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 ding.
But out there in Sparrow world, go nuts on that love button and do that. Put some hearts out when something is said that resonates with you. It's going to be key when it comes to that. And it's going to prevent jealousy. It's going to prevent security. It's going to prevent trust issues. You don't have to be checking up on your person on their social media. You can care less that they have a code on their phone because you trust them that much. and they trust you the same. Chances are, within a trusting relationship, there aren't going to be codes on phones. The phone's not going to be face down. It's going to be face up. I always have my face up. I have absolutely nothing. But the moment you start saying things like codes on phone, face down, always on silent, flag, 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 you might need to get some understanding of what it's a relationship you're in. Like I said, we all have,
and that's a hard thing.
it is. It's extremely hard.
A lot of people they go into relationships like that, and my mom said something to me that was very profound a couple of years ago, and I was like, why don't you get a boyfriend? And she said, I want to be in a relationship, but I don't feel like doing the relationship stuff. And there's a lot of people walking around here that are not doing the relationship stuff and should not be in relationships, but they are in one. And it's very stressful if you're not giving 100% and you're not being consistent, you're insecure, you're jealous. That's too much. Life is too short. It's too short.
Yeah. Enjoy every moment of all engagement opportunities. And if you want to be in a relationship, you need to be firm with the person that you're investing that time in to make sure that's their path also.
If you're faithful, you are free.
Julie says, yes, you have nothing to hide. You can do your Tarzan. You don't have anything to hide. So, it's vital. It's the simple things. Pay attention to the little things. And I'm not saying be a drill sergeant and ask a ton of questions. No, pay attention to the little things. Utilize the conversation jar. Take time to spend time with that person, because spending time is going to reveal and answer all the questions that you have without asking any of them. Mm-hmm. That's going to be your key. That's your secret weapon.
They're going to show you who they truly are.
And in my Maya Angelou's voice, believe them the first time.
I'm gonna have to put some hearts on that one. I had to put a heart on that one myself.
Yes. Stop being so forgiving. Forgive, yes, but you're nobody's doormat. Don't let anybody wipe their feet on you continuously. It happens one time, forgive it. It happens 2 times, never a 3.
Yeah.
And again, I keep going back to the book. I have a 1-strike policy. Policy. And a lot, of the people that I've dated in the past would say, well, Valerie, what's the 1 strike? I say, you'll know when you make it.
Wow. and you're out.
It was a tough cookie, and I'm still tough. I'm tough as I was, but there are times I need to reiterate some of those things. But you know what that does? It puts boundaries around yourself. I don't want to have that wall. I don't want that wall. I really want to get to know individuals for who they are. I want to respect them for who they are, because I want to be able to see clearly. I want to be able to hear clearly. I want to make sure I can ask the correct questions. I want to spend the time without someone feeling like they need to be on guard. No, I make sure that it's welcoming and inviting. I would treat you like the king that you are. However, I am handling kingdom business. My life is a kingdom business. And the king needs to treat the queen proper. I'm nobody's side chick. Not doing all of that sharing and not habitual dating. Not interested. And I will let you know that on the front end, so you can make a sound decision if you want to engage with me. I will give you opportunity to make that decision. You're not going to be blindsided later on. I'm not going to cleave my nails into you. None of that. None of it.
It's confusing. And stop hiding what you don't need.
Yeah, that's the thing. But it's so many. Gosh. Yeah. Okay, Keisha. Can you hear me now? You froze.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You you froze
Still
up
frozen
just for a moment.
about now. Can you hear me
So
now? Can you hear me now?
a little choppy, just a little
Uh-oh.
choppy.
Let me see.
Are you working?
What about now?
Yeah. So if there's any sabotages or things that you've done in the past or things that you may be doing currently that is sabotaging or killing the relationship that you're in, or if you're on isolation island and you're really hopeful to meet the ideal person, and don't forget about praying, honey. That prayer comes first. Pray about every situation and all things before you act. Always
Yes,
pray, because once you get out there and make a complete mess of things, it's hard to go back and fix that. You can.
it is. You do all that. You can pray on isolation island. Do all that prayer and self-assessment, and ask God to show you him or her and who they are, and be ready for when they come.
Absolutely. And that's when the journal comes into play. That's when everything necessary comes into play of what your expectations are, what you're looking for. And it changes. Like when I was in my 20s and now that I'm in my 40s, 49, almost 50, and I'm fabulous and all of that great stuff
Feel fabulous.
wasn't the same back then as it is now. We have to go through these learning curves. We have to have experiences, because without experiences, you can't change, you can't evolve. It's impossible to do. So be grateful for the experiences that you've had and where you're going in life. Because even though you're in a relationship, you can be in that relationship and you're both now going in two different directions.
You've outgrown, and that's how relationships, they outgrow one another and they remain stagnant, and nobody is saying anything. They're too afraid to say, hey, I've outgrown you. It's okay to say that. You don't have to be in an argue, knockdown fight to go your separate ways. That, you know what, it's just not meant to be. Especially if it's just you're dating, it's something you're dating.
Right.
Let that person go. Go, move on, go into isolation island or whatever you need to do to be happy.
Right. Because your happiness is everything. And if you're investing time,
Yeah,
because I've invest 7 years, I've invest 9 years, stop.
means nothing.
Why would you win if
Yeah,
you're not happy?
to be miserable, sitting for 10 years miserable.
Yes, cut it off sooner than later, so you can connect with the right person, and then you can really understand what love and bliss is about. That's what's important. You living free, knowing exactly what you want, not compromising, to the point to where you're giving up too much of yourself, to be in that relationship. Because sometimes you can pay too much. You can pay
Mm,
to have somebody
yeah.
in your life. And like right now, like I said, October is starting to cool off. Things are happening. We're going into boo season. People tend to just connect
Booed
around.
up season. It's cuffing season.
It's
It is cuffing season indeed.
it's going to be cold and you're not as active as you are during the summer months. So
Yeah.
when that happens, you tend to make not very good decisions just to have somebody with you. I say cuddle up, get some nice fuzzy socks and some cider, apple cider and a blanket, watch a lot of Netflix and get out and do some winter activities. Get out and do some things where you can connect and meet some people that's on the same level that you're on. That's going to be important.
Instead
Do
of
not
settling for anybody.
tag yourself and connect with someone just for the fact of it being cold outside and you just don't want to be alone. Alone is fabulous.
No,
We're having a
it's
little
not.
technical
It's
difficulty.
not worth it.
Yes,
Still.
that's what it's all.
What about now?
Yes. but I'm looking over at the clock and it says 8:16. Keisha,
Ooh.
way too much. So it's all these people that catch the replay, or they caught us in the beginning and have come back. I've seen several people come in and out. So now I realize, oh my gosh, it's over an hour. And that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
When you're talking about things that resonate. But you know, a relationship is a relationship, and it's easy to sabotage if you haven't done the proper things to heal yourself, if you haven't taken those initiatives.
Totally.
And I say, have your closest friends have a bonfire or something, do something so your friends can really tell you the truth about something. Your friends will tell you, I mean, your close girlies, your
For real, yeah, real friends.
I mean, longevity friends,
Yeah.
they will divulge the truth because they've been seeing things that you're not even privy to see because you're in the middle of it. So they're constantly watching and waiting for the ideal time to present or say something about it. But when you open the door, you know, and from a girlfriend standpoint, not something that you should be speaking with your mate about. Things that's concerning your talk to your mate, not your girlies, not your mom, your dad, all your brothers, and you know, and things stirred up that shouldn't be stirred up. However,
communication is key.
everything. It really is. Don't make assumptions. Hey, Kim Goodwin, reaching out all the way from California, on your cyber kiss. Good to see you. And yeah, this is going to be key. So if you haven't jotted any notes, I'm going to recap what we talked about. Go back, play it again. There's going to be some sparrows that's going to come on and catch the replay. So if you're catching the replay, be sure to put hashtag replay there for us. And so I can, you know, respond accordingly. I did mention at the beginning of the hour that I will be doing a raffle for 30 minutes of conscious coaching. And what you're going to do is all about the likes and the loves. Go nuts with those hearts and the likes. And also be sure to share the video and share where you are viewing from. And one more thing, go over to Instagram and follow tvm.217. You have to do those 4 things.
Yes.
Like, love,
share.
Share that you shared where you're from in the comments, and you've gone over to Instagram to tvm.217 and follow.
Yes.
And this week, I'm going to do the drum roll and let you know who has. Thank you, Keisha.
Drum roll.
Did speak about tonight. We were speaking on insecurity, trust issues, social media, jealousy, lack of communication, and one more thing, making assumptions. Don't assume anything.
Assume
About everything. Do not assume. We know what it says. That
out of you and me.
Yeah, assumption. Keisha, stop getting in your car following your husband around. Stop doing that. I'm just saying.
But why? I gotta do it.
It's of what and me. So it's embarrassing. And assumptions only come when you don't ask enough questions. Ask questions.
And I am the Riddler. The Riddler. I'm gonna ask 50 million questions, honey. I got to know. We're not gonna assume nothing. I'm gonna ask you straight on. Did you? Do you? Will you? Have you?
Yes,
ask
that
questions.
is true. I don't believe in curious. I have a friend, you know, he says to me, Val, should have been an FBI agent, the way you ask questions. Like, you really get to the meat of it. And that's because who wants to repeat? I'm not repeating what I've already done. So I need to be sure who you are, because I know how fabulous I am.
Exactly.
You're getting a gift, huge one.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to make sure you're presenting yourself to me as I am to you. We're going to save a whole lot of time. A lot of time. It's going to be vital. Yes.
Put it on orientation.
So keep,
Orientation.
absolutely. But before we, yeah. Anything you want to add, Keisha, before we go?
I just thank you for having me on TV. I ask everyone can for me at Instagram and on Twitter. And I just feel like the relationship is what you make it. It's hard work, but you have to know who you are and whose you are before stepping into the relationship, and be ready for what the person has to give you. Because you could have a great person coming to you, and you all broken and bitter, and it's gonna end badly.
Mm-hmm.
So be ready.
Always be ready. Turn your green light on. Expect the best and present the best. You can't receive something.
Yes.
It's not feasible. Hello, Wanda Somerville. Good to see you, girl. But it's just one of those things. Relationships are amazing. I love being in relationships. It just makes life easier. You're happier, you live longer. You don't have to worry about these streets because they are not kind. They're not kind at all. And I really don't want any other parts of them right now. So stay tuned to for the mixer that's going to be coming up around springtime. It's going to take me some time to really reacclimate myself since I'm back here in the Queen City. So I've got to find a new location. I've got a whole lot of work that I had made preparations for Georgia. So D'Angel, no, I'll be heading back toward Georgia. I'll be in the loop and keeping you up and posted with what's happening with that by the time I get there. So you can always come to Charlotte, dear heart, for the first one. And just be mindful, take initiative, love yourself enough to present yourself as the best in order to attract the best. Fix what's broken, what's been damaged. Take yourself on over to Isolation Island to do that and to do it accordingly. Okay. So, is it Sadia? Sadia White?
Yes.
You must deliver from whatever has hurt you. Absolutely, 100% is vital. And do not take your broken to anybody's relationship. Don't you put yourself in that position when you're not ready. No. Please don't do that. And other person, but it's more damage to yourself to do that.
Yes.
And if you need help, get it. Don't be embarrassed. It's nothing to be embarrassed, but an investment in yourself. Hello, that's what I do. But investing in yourself is going to be imperative. You have to do. Please fix it. And it's okay. Go ahead and rock your abused armor. It's nothing wrong with that. Rock it. It just goes to show what you've been through. You've gotten through these situations. It only makes you greater. So, rock your halo. Love yourself enough to know that you deserve the best and don't settle for anything. And it's never going to work. That's right. It'll never work if you rush into something that's not for you. Don't settle for something. When the red flags appear, be respectful of those. Take time and step back and look at that. Have your mirror moments and have them often. And all the that we've talked about tonight, Keisha has, options in her relationship handbook, and I also have everything I talked about. One strike policy, who peaked last week, punks under. You better recognize those on the streets because they come in all forms. All male, female, however you look at that, but ways of handling things, securing and protecting your heart. Whatever you do, protect your heart at all times, because that's the most precious thing that we have. It's the most precious. And you just don't give it to someone just because they feel they deserve it. They need to earn that.
Yes, indeed.
Earn it. Stop giving yourself away too freely. Absolutely. But like I said, I know this has been the absolute longest live I've ever had.
It's because you
And
love me. That's what that is.
I do love you. And I want to a copy of your book. Pick it up.
Yes,
and be sure to put in comments all of your contact. Because when you were sharing it, you broke up again. So be sure to put your contact information out there so you can have the Sparrows contact you in the event they need to. I look forward to spending more time with you. I'll see you guys next week. And thank you so much, D'Angelo. It's been amazing having you here also. But you know, Auntie got the gift of gab, and I love to chit and chatter, honey. But when it's on conversations such as relationships and finding the absolute best mate for you, I will go all in and I will talk as long as I have to, because I want the absolute best for each and every one of you. And, you know, when you're married,
yes,
taking some of the advice to your married relationships, taking time out so you can absolutely have quality time with your husband, have date night. These things are important. And my winner from 2 weeks ago, Bridget Neal, she was participating in the group, in the room that particular night, all about singles. This was my first relationship segment for this month. However, what she did, she won. She shared shared the page. She did everything necessary, and she won. A married lady won from
for the singles.
of contributing, you know, with me, you know, and it's okay, because we're going to talk more about how she can keep that relationship that she has within her marriage, and the importance of date night, and all the vital keys of keeping your marriage fabulous. Because like you said, it's hard work, and it's continual. It's not part.
It is
Everyday gig. It just is. And you know, once you're in it, you want to stay in it. Who wants to keep having processes of dating? It is not kind. I can't. The streets are not kind. I don't like them. I feel like I'm on the freeway and I can't get off my exit.
It's hard.
I want off the exit that's going to at the altar. That's where I am right now. I'm putting it out in the universe, and I'm only taking, you know, resumes from those that are qualified. I know what I'm presenting, so you might want to approach me properly. So that's all I'm going to say on that. I say thank you to everybody who's participated tonight. And like I said, all of those of you that's going to be viewing from the replay, all applies. Be sure to put into comments. Follow me on Instagram, tvm.217. Share this live tonight. And I think that's it. Go nuts on the likes and loves. So it's going to be very important. And Keisha has dropped out the room. So I say thank you to Nakisha King, the author of the Relationship Handbook. And cheers to all of you, Sparrows. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you spending the time with me, an hour and a half tonight. This is nuts. However, it was quite juicy, and I love you. So on that note, I'm going to say good night. Love without conditions. Always possess a positive attitude, and soar in all you do. Love you, mean it. Switches. I love you too, Wanda. Good night, Sparrows. Love you.